What's up, Grind Force gamers? Falcon here. I'm here with the whole Grind Force gaming crew. We got Nova, Datscat, and JB. Say hello, gentlemen.
What's
What
going
up?
on?
What's happening?
So today we are bringing you a video of, it's not a tier list, but this is just like the Grind Force gaming favorites list. These are fighters that we like using, and each of us will go in turn. We'll give our thoughts on why we love a specific fighter that we just want to kind of discuss today. So who would like to kick it? Actually, I've got the tier list set up here, so we'll do it in this order. Datscat, how about you kick us off?
Oh man, I'm so glad you picked me. Okay, so the very first slot that I'm gonna utilize here is trendy Cammy.
I knew it. I knew you'd pick her first.
First, oh man, so
No way
Read
you're
you like a
surprised.
book.
I love trendy Cammy for so many reasons, other than her main screen photo. But the trendy Cammy was the first divination fighter after M. Bison that I kind of chose to go for. Right when she came out, I went for her and I got her leveled up, and she's just been so much fun to use. I had to put her on my list. Second slot, Sagat. Mostly because Sagat has historically been my character for Street Fighter 2 battles, two Street Fighter 2 Turbo battles back on the SNES. And when he got released into the game and I saw how good he was, I was like, oh man, he's my man. Slot 3, Poison. Original Poison. Not Street Poison, original Poison. And I chose original Poison because instead of Mad Ryu, instead of Guile, instead of Sea Viper, I chose to build her first. She was my first hero that I took pretty far, and she got me through the mid game, guys. I think she's very, very good. Now, in the later battles, Guile obviously takes the cake, but he's kind of boring. I'm sick of using him. Poison gets the slot. Next up, fourth slot, Dull Seam. Now, Dull Seam is my fourth pick because the second I got his 6 vehicles in FS30 all unlocked, my Shadowland scores skyrocketed. Like, it was like 150 million. And I was blown away by the power of Dulcim. Fifth slot, we got Summer Yang. Now, I had to put a C1 character in here. I know DPS is way more fun, but I had to put a C1 character in here. And I really love Summer Yang C1 because he kind of just floats onto the field, and his animation is really cool, and his shielding is sufficient, his healing is sufficient. He doesn't linger on the field like Elena does. I think he's just super fun to use and has been my new favorite C1 fighter to use. That's my list. Those are my picks. Enter them in. Let's go.
That's a cool list.
I dig it.
Thanks,
I,
guys.
di- I didn't. I don't have any of those on mine. Not that says anything, but it's pretty sweet actually that everyone you listed, like none of them are on my list.
Awesome. I love that.
All right, so for my list to kick it off, I got to start with my boy Jen.
Oof.
Um,
Okay.
there's Jen or Gan, however you choose to pronounce it. I've always said Jen, so I'm gonna stick with that word. And it took me a minute to find it. It took me like a good 30 seconds to find Summer Yang, by the way, while I was looking for your pick, Cat's Cat. Jen was the first divination character that I pulled for, even, well, not before Bison. I got Bison to SS, and then I went to Jen. So he was my first divination character to triple S. And ever since his kit has been reworked and he's functioning properly, he's a very fun fighter to use. He still hasn't, broken into the meta, won't be a top tier character at this time, but he is an awesome fighter, and I love every one of his abilities so much. He's also the best assist fighter in the game, in my opinion. Next up, I'm going to go Blanca. Another one that probably is not a surprise to you guys. I'm a big Blanca fan.
This is
Um,
true.
and we just talked about this in the vehicle video, so I won't spend too much time on it. But in particular, his 6 for 6 vehicle ability is spectacular. It's one of the coolest abilities in the game. You'll start getting just free passive interrupts on the enemy. They'll start their combos, and somewhere in the middle, oh, Blanca decides to end it. It's super cool. It can change the course of a fight really quickly.
Can we put that card up in the top?
Yeah,
for the
good call.
vehicle
Good
video.
call. I'll put a card up
Yeah,
on the video here for that vehicle tier list that we
it's a
just
good
made.
watch.
All right.
Next up, I'm gonna go Beast Zangief. Now I know we were talking a little bit before the video. This is the one that we've all had to use since the beginning, and so to some extent we're kind of sick of using him.
Yeah.
But for me, I am first and foremost a manual player on this game. I don't get a ton of enjoyment out of the auto play, so I rarely do that, especially now that I only play the game casually. When I jump into it, I want to play manual. And Beast Zangief that keeps bringing me home. He's what keeps me in this game because that gives me the avenue to control things and have a say in the fight a little bit more than the auto playing does. So Beast Zangief's important to me for that reason.
I dig it.
Little full of yourself, but go on.
That's
He is
Balto's.
awesome. I mean,
Balto's FS30 is.
he's an awesome fighter. Everyone uses him. Everyone should be using him. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of true. I don't think he's my favorite anymore.
Your reasoning is really good, by the way.
Appreciate that. Fourth up is GM Ken. I'm going to go Gore Magala Ken here, which is going to be
Wow.
a surprise.
Really?
Exactly. It's going to be a surprise for you guys.
Okay.
But this is, I to this day think he's might be the coolest fighter in the game in terms of his animation and his abilities. I'm a sucker for animation. I'm an animator myself, so I'm always paying attention to the way the art style plays into things. And his skills are also utterly unique. He's super overpowered. If he comes back into the game, there is where the developers might actually get my money a little bit. Not a lot, but if he's reasonably priced, that's an avenue that I would want to chase, and I would love to have him in my lineup. So a weird pick, I know, but that's my number 4.
What is he for you right now? Is he A plus?
Just A.
For $1,300.
It could be yours.
Yeah,
You can get all the chaotic starlights you want.
that's right. For just $1,300, Falcon.
I have 4 of his vehicles because I didn't understand the wish list when he came out.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh
I have
no!
4 Magala vehicles. Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Well, hopefully, and we'll probably talk about this a little bit more in a future video as soon as this update drops, but hopefully things will change enough so that we can start chasing these characters that we really want to play with.
Yeah.
So in some ways, this is kind of a dream choice pick for me, a hopeful pick for me.
Now with the chaotic starlight, you can finish a fighter that's not available in the game anymore, right? But I don't know how often we're going to get them for free. We got the first one for free just now from this Summer Elena event. So are we going to get 2 a month? Because if so, in 6 months, you could,
There is an avenue here.
Yeah,
We
if
just
they're
need
free.
to see more. Yeah.
there's a way.
Last pick, it's going to be Sea Viper.
Okay.
Now, this has been my tried and true girl. The game has thrown copies of her at me since day one. Now, she was on my wish list, her along with Dulcine and such, but the game just threw copies of her at me. I had her, she was, I think, my first Triple S fighter. And so I've been using her consistently. And so it's been really fun to watch her rise. Like, as I've been playing with her this whole time, she just keeps getting better and better and better.
She's so good.
So she's been my mainstay, and I can't give up on my rock Sea Viper.
Don't give up on your rock. She's so good.
She's amazing.
Keep leaning in.
I think she's the best fighter in the game.
I do too.
Hands down. You could all the divination characters, all the special summon, all the collab fighter. I think Sea Viper is the number 1 character in the game.
She's got a lot of use. That's for sure.
She's awesome.
All right, so those are my 5 picks. Next up is JB. JB, who you got?
JB.
All right. So at number 5, I'm actually going with one of our newest characters, Summer Elena.
Ooh.
Okay.
Before her, I would have put Elena on the list. So Summer Elena is just a lot better Elena. I love fighters that have trigger moves.
Yeah.
And I love how, depending on who super goes off, determines her style of fighting. So Summer Elena F5. Mad Ryu actually comes in at number 4. I think he's a lot of fun to start with. I know he's not the best at the end, but at the start of the game, and that's who I started with, I thought there's nothing better. So I love Mad Ryu. I think he's having all those fireballs go off is pretty cool.
Oh, that early game progress is not to be
Yeah.
forsaken.
That's a lot of fun.
When he gets into a loop with those Metsu Hodokus,
Yeah.
that was one of the first like
Yeah, he's
wow
pretty
moments
cool.
in the game for me, where he just like wiped out an enemy team. It was a lot
So
of fun
good.
to watch.
So
Yeah.
good.
At number 3, I have Akuma. That's going to be
Wow.
my first built up special summon, so that'll be nice. I really like kind of the short build up, right? So do a super so you can do this huge C2, right? So I just really like that. It's not like it doesn't take forever to build up, and you get a nuke every combo. So I think he's pretty awesome, and that he attacks the backline fighter. That's always great.
Love those assassins.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a super cool mechanic.
Yep.
He's got a lot of things going for him. I have a lot of fun using him now that he's triple S and everything's built up for him. Especially now that we're getting all these boss fights. Man,
Oh,
he's
I
great.
know.
Always
good
great for
memory.
boss fights.
Yeah.
Number 2, I didn't think I'd ever put this person on a list when I first saw the fighter, but it's Fashion Blanca. One, I just thought it was stupid that there was a fire Blanca. Maybe that's a thing, but I didn't like it. But he's a lot of fun once you got him. And he was amazing. It's super OP for what you're doing. So
That's funny. I never thought about that, actually.
He was kind of a game changer.
I thought it was.
Like-
I honestly hated the idea at first, and then
Yeah, Blanca needs
I was
to be
completely wrong.
shock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a pleasant surprise, and it was free.
Yeah.
It was a huge win.
It
Awesome.
kind of changed
So,
the
yeah.
game for me though, because it gave me the second avenue. Like, Fashion Blanca was my transition from Poison to Guile. Was Fashion Blanca? I still progressed a lot with him before I had my Guile all the way built up. So,
Yeah.
dude, I'm right
Yeah, he
there
was
with
my-
you, JB.
He was my transition fighter as well. I moved from Chun-Li to Fashion Blanca, and then ultimately I ended up doing Sea Viper, and I still
Yeah,
haven't even
he's
finished
awesome.
Guile.
So
Even on my restart, that's kind of how it's working because you don't fully unlock Fascia Blanca's 30 day or whatever the sign-in bonus. So you don't unlock it for a while.
I think it's like 2 months in or something.
So he becomes this transitional unit where you're like, okay, I have an SSS fighter. Fashion Blanca is now super good right off the bat. Now I can bide my time and build other fighters to fill needs. And I think that's where Fashion Blanca, man.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
along.
My number 1 is M Bison.
Yeah.
He's just too good,
Yeah.
and he's from Street Fighter 2, the most glorious of all Street Fighters, right? So
That's right.
Well,
I think he's probably in the first one too. I don't know, but that game sucked. So that's
M.
my
Bison?
guess, but I have no
Yeah.
idea.
I believe it's Street Fighter 2 because it's the god in the first one.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Pretty sure.
Regardless if it is or not, we're claiming it is here. So M Bison
Let's go.
from Street Fighter 2, the best game, and he's a must-have in Street Fighter Duel. So he is my number 1.
Take us home, Nova.
My gosh, I gotta say, okay, so this is actually really surprising. We thought there was going to be a lot of overlap with fighters, but I only have one fighter that's going to overlap with anybody else.
That's so cool, dude. Heck yeah.
Nice.
And I guess not surprisingly, that one fighter is Sea Viper.
Of course.
I had to put her in. I absolutely love using her. She's the most fun, in my opinion, as far as like damage goes and like just like the DPS functionality of her. I think she's awesome for like all game modes. That's why I picked her. Second for me is Flame Chun-Li. And I do kind of feel bad about putting a legendary in here because I don't know if anyone will ever be able to get her again because she's not in the game anymore, but I love her mechanic for boss fights.
Yeah.
And she pairs so well with Dulcime.
Yep.
Her animation's cool. Chun-Li is my favorite Street Fighter character. Had to pick her.
It's really your favorite because you have her and we don't.
Well, maybe.
You meant to rub it
Scott's
in,
got her too.
and then you brought that up as a fake apology at the
Yeah.
beginning, just to rub it in everyone's face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the Thunder Thighs. What do you want? You know?
I think she's amazing. Third is Athlete Chun-Li. And I swear I didn't pick all the Chun-Lis, okay?
You
I swear.
did. You picked all the Chun-Lis.
No, the original Chun-Li is not in here. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
I picked Athlete Chun-Li because I think that her C1 is really cool, and I like that her fighting spirit and her passive work so directly with each other. It reduces a lot of incoming damage. It blocks projectiles. It also reduces damage received by Master Faction and Wind Faction, and those have some of the coolest fighters in the game. I think overall, like Wind and Master have some really cool fighters available. So it makes for really fun team building. I think that she's awesome. I also have Summer Ibuki in here. I love the trigger skills. I love the push for speed. I think that that's just a really cool thing to add into the game. When she came, it was just like a total game changer for like PvP approach and ultimately for boss fights as well. And my final fighter is Zangief. I'm picking Zangief. His 6 out of 6 vehicles is awesome. The passive blocking on, we just saw it with one of the boss fights that we just had in the event that we're currently going through at the time of this video, where he basically just rendered one of the bosses pretty much useless with the 6 out of 6 vehicles blocking the passive, because the Summer Ibuki boss was very much based on passive attacking. It was awesome. That made me like him a lot. So that's my 5.
Nice. Very nice.
Guys, we had no idea. This was all blind too. We didn't discuss this.
No.
No.
We just
It's
did
crazy.
this.
Right.
I can't believe that everything was so different. Just one overlap. It's pretty
so that Viper's the only one, and there's a couple others that I considered. If I were to throw out another one or two, I still see potential in Mummy Dalsim.
Okay.
I do too. I was actually really thinking about Mummy
the
D.
Well, there are a number of fighters that I don't think have their team yet. He is one of these fighters.
Yeah.
I don't think
Agreed.
Poison has her team yet. I don't think Mummy Dalsim has his team yet. I don't think Vega has his team yet. I don't think Sagat has his team yet. You know, so I think there's a lot coming out in this game, and I'm super hyped on it, guys. Super hyped on this game. I think it's going to be really fun to see this meta change. It's going to be really fun to see how speed starts interacting and how these debuffs are going to start interacting and changing your ability to make a certain fighter lineup, as well as your need to have different fighters to solve different problems. And that's what this game's about, right? Solving these problems.
Yep. Yeah, everything's changing right now. And I think every fighter is kind of starting to see like a new ability within the game and within the meta as well. It's
100%.
pretty cool. This is a fun time for this game.
Ideally, we're approaching a time where we see basically every fighter with their own little niche role within the Street Fighter Duel universe.
Mm-hmm.
I think that will do it for our favorites list there. Just a short, quick, fun little video to kind of talk about some of the fighters that we've been excited about and hyped on. Stay tuned. We have the 6-month anniversary update dropping late tonight or early tomorrow morning.
Yep.
So, of course, we're going to be bringing you lots of content on that. Make sure to stay tuned to Grind Force Gaming. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Any last thoughts, gentlemen?
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Video
You're pumped.
done.
Thanks for hanging out, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys.
Peace.